So it was finally here, time for their first elimination. And I think that that was a super tough choice for us all to make, because we had so many more candidates that were overly qualified and that did not give up than we had anticipated having. But we still had to make the tough decisions. And we were basically going from, at this point in time, around 20 candidates, 20 to 21 candidates, down to 12.
All I can say is I really love their passion, because it's really seen every time they dance, every time they hang out. Even if they're not doing anything, I can see the burning passion inside of them. I just really like seeing people who loves doing what they do, and I see that in their eyes, everything.
I see myself in them. Like when I first started in the industry, I was young and I was full of passion. I was full of inspiration, and I see myself in each of them, and I'm really glad that they have that belief in themselves.
I was finally seeing some direction as to where we were going for this group, and yeah, I can't wait for us to be.
We're really excited.
It had been 3 days, and we needed to take the time to think about everything that had happened within that time to narrow down the contestants.
I think early on, one of the most important qualifications that we were looking for, and really what the whole training camp was designed around, was an emphasis on teamwork.
If someone can work well in a team, then they can grow much faster than someone who can't. When you have a team building you up and helping you get through all of the hard times, and you're willing to accept the good and the bad from the team, it makes it much easier to move forward throughout the day. So if you're not a good team member, something like this just isn't going to work.
And in addition to that, the reality was, most groups that break apart, it has nothing to do really with the level of talent. By the time that you get here, by the time, whether it's US and K-pop and J-pop and P-pop, it doesn't really matter where you are. It generally, groups break apart because they can't handle the team dynamics. And if you don't develop a group around the team being first, and instead you just bring a bunch of soloists or individuals together, that wasn't the type of group that we were trying to make. And that's why the teamwork was the most important quality.
It's extremely difficult to unlearn bad habits, but it's very easy to teach somebody something brand new, especially somebody who is willing to learn. And that's where that dynamic comes in, that the teamwork dynamic plus just the ability to learn is all we were really looking for.
And what that looked like, narrowing down the contestants, because we weren't able to be present for every part. There were parts where we were actually doing trainings for vocals and things like that, or doing evaluations, while others were out, actually performing, different routines or different warm-ups or different dance breaks. And those were things that we would actually have to go then at night, and we'd have to go over the footage from the day and look through the contestants again and kind of see everything. We would talk with the other judges and the dance coach and just the staff and see hey, what are your thoughts? Where are they at? How are they improving day to day? How are their attitudes? How are they dealing with each other? US and K-pop and J-pop and P-pop, it doesn't really matter where you are.
They did pretty good. I really tried my best and really gave them the run and the rap and the song of it. That I can, the best that I can.
From that point, though, it was really just who had the raw, just building blocks. Some people had very, very few trainings in the past. They didn't really have a bunch of knowledge already, but we watched them and we could say, hey, they can do this though. They can do this extremely well. They have never learned this before. And honestly, we've talked about it before, a lot of times it's easier to take somebody that has no bad habits, that has not had any training before, as long as they have the wrong building blocks, than taking somebody who's extremely talented but maybe stuck in their ways.
I still have hope na makakapasok because I know for sure that I'm determined. I have still the passion. But if they choose me to not be part, well, I'm fine with it because pinagdasal ko po talaga sa Diyos that if ibibigay sa akin, tatanggapin ko. But if God will redirect me, I will still accept it. Maybe this is still not the right time, or it may be a right time. So it really depends po for me.
I'm trying my best po, and I will do my best pa rin po. I've been dreaming of this for like years, and honestly, all I've been getting is like rejection, and I do believe in the quote, rejection is redirection. So that's why I'm here, and I'm just really happy being here. And I get to like experience like the training and everything, and I get to meet like people who have the same dream as me.
The interesting thing is, while we made evaluations obviously a part of the competition, we also told everybody from early on that from the day that they walked in there, that was the real evaluation. Their scorings during like the actual evaluation rounds, where we brought everybody in to kind of see where they were, actually had very, very little impact on whether or not we were going to let somebody through. The evaluation was the entire time. What was their attitude like from the moment that they walked through the door? How fast were they picking things up? How well did they take to criticism? How well did they take to the criticism we gave them the last time and the feedback? And with the coaches, they were kind of our eyes and ears on a daily basis to be able to watch them and give us feedback, because we weren't going to be able to be around for the vast majority of it. So we really did have to rely on Coach Ren, for instance, who was with them for 8 hours a day, every single day, of what were they like? How are they learning? How are they in a team setting? Do they have leadership capabilities? You know, what really do you see as their future? And we had to take all of that and compile that all together. So you really have to trust in your coaches and the people that you brought on to be able to make those decisions. When we got to the elimination part of this, again, it was really, really tough. And I remember I think a few of the decisions were just a little bit easier, just because the girls weren't necessarily going to fit the concept and design that we had for the group. For some of them, it wasn't that they weren't talented. They were extremely talented, but it was just like, okay, this is just, for some, I remember it was that there was just a little bit too much cutesiness. And that was one of the reasons that some of them didn't go on. So we had Mara, Kai, Leanne, Ariel, Lovely, Tris, Cole, Kay, Joyce, Cha, Belle, and Manea.
Alam ko po kasi kung saan ako nagkulang.
It's hard because this is my dream.
The biggest thing about Mara was her personality. It's very unassuming, because you wouldn't think that her personality is as quirky and as funny.
Sorry,
And I really felt like that part of her was going to be a really, really solid addition to the group, because we knew that she was going to be able to keep things light and playful and fun.
I was like about to cry already. That's why when they called my name, I just like cried. Now I was like, oh my god. Like, everything that I worked hard for and everything I sacrificed, it's like, it's worth it. I'm just so proud of myself.
I remember specifically Tanette, for instance. She was just this like really kind of warm, bubbly. She had a really, really great attitude. We couldn't get out of her the fierceness. You know, it was like no matter what she did, we couldn't get her to appear fierce.
I mean, I'm starting to like my body, like it's kind of giving up. I still think that I can do this, okay? Like laban, ganon. The best or the most important thing is that we all did our best, and we really are dedicated. Just always remember to live every moment.
Yeah, Ariel for me, I remember that it was like she was already kind of like, she had this persona about her. There was nothing fake. Everything from the glasses to the beret, everything about her was just it was so authentic and refreshing. The thing that really surprised me about her was like, she, again, was further behind in everybody, but didn't ever give up. She started picking up on things faster, but her power behind her voice was really one of the things I think that solidified her in the top 12.
Overwhelmed. Why? It's because I wasn't really expecting that much after what I experienced since yesterday and today. Like, I had to set out while everyone was learning the choreography.
Stiff. Stiff was one of the ones that I think was kind of like on the fence with us. And I think a very good example for just us of where we felt she had dance capabilities. She could perform fairly decent in each category, but she had been dancing for a really, really long time. And I remember when we talked to the coach, she was having a really hard time kind of getting her to blend in with the group. Like when she was performing, a lot of times it felt more like solo performing than it felt like, you know, the group performing. That was a really, really tough one. And then I remember the other one too was, again, it was the facial expressions. It's like we couldn't get the attitude to come out in the way that we had wanted it to.
Siguro for now, I don't feel sad at all. Kasi I'm really happy for the others na nakapasa sila. Like, yun yung mas nangingibabaw for now. Pero, yeah, I mean, I did my best. And yun naman lagi ko sinasabi, kung di man ako makapasok, it's totally fine. Kasi I know that I did my best. And I know that in the future, I will not regret any of this. Kaya, I feel happy for myself then. Kaya.
Tris, I think, was one of the unassuming girls of the early competition. I remember, like, I was like the only one that remembered Tris. Like, everybody like remembered. I remember like Cole stood out and Mara stood out and Ariel stood out, but like everybody like was like, oh, we forgot. But like Tris was like consistently one of the highest scorers in every single evaluation. And I think the reason that she didn't really stick out is because until she was performing, she was so quiet and so like just meek, and she wouldn't really say anything. And then all of a sudden she'd perform and it was like this whole different person came out.
Minsan, nasasabihin ako na, parang sumingit to kasi nga hindi ako. But if not, I'm just really saving my energy for the evaluation. So I don't want to push myself much too hard by that time because I really have no experience with everything. So, pinakapa ko pa yung katawan ko, and yeah, I'm gonna improve it.
I remember M early on, if you remember, she was the one who was the only person to do guilty in round one. And she really, really impressed us. And I really loved that about her. But we couldn't really get her personality and her confidence to come out during the competition, during the training camp.
Yung iniisip ko lang po talaga na thing is ma-experience po ito. Kasi parang nandito na po eh. So parang, yeah, yung mga prepare ko, hindi naman po siya naging waste. Sadyang hindi lang po talaga ako satisfied sa mga nagawa ko. But yeah, there's always a room for improvement.
I think that Cole was one of the top performers of every round. She just had it locked in. She had it dialed in. She was an ace, so she could sing, she could dance, she could rap. I think the biggest thing for both of us was she had production background. Like she actually went to school for music production, and that was going to be a game changer for the group.
Thankfully, I was one of the first who got called to get a golden feather, so I felt instant too.
There was Zalani and Belle were the two, I remember, the tallest girls of the competition. And again, when we were looking at like people for the group and kind of what we wanted to fit in, if we were going to have that in the group, there was not going to probably be room. Like they've both had a very similar, I felt like, aesthetic. Their voices were very, very similar. And Belle just eked out Zalani a little bit because she had more dance capabilities. And so it was like, if somebody was going to have to fit into that space, we ended up then going with Belle, who was far more ahead in dancing because everything else was pretty similar between them. A little bit more of like kind of like a tempered voice. And so that's ultimately why we went with Belle over Zalani in that.
Actually po, wala akong regrets. Wala akong sana. Pero alam ko po kasi kung saan ako nagkulang. Pero at the same time, I just accepted it as is. Parang, it is what it is. Like, it had to happen because may reason for that. And yun po yung talagang pinangahawakan ko. Or yun yung na-apply ko ngayon sa situation ko na things happens for a reason and I may not know the reason right now, but it will show in the future. I just have to keep looking for it.
During the training kasi, parang sobrang babar kasi ng stamina ko. So, yun yung isa kong worry actually. Kasi kapag may breaks kami, sila nagpa-practice. Pero ako hindi na ako makapractice kasi I really feel na gusto ko na sit down.
Trisha, I think, was the biggest one that we were on the fence about. I don't know if you remember. So Trisha, the girl that like almost fainted, and she was also the one who was like, I've never worked out a day in my life. But she put so much effort in and her performances were always really good, even when she could barely hold herself up. Like the drive and determination was there with her, and her attitude was just phenomenal.
Ayoko umiyak. I don't wanna cry. It's hard because that's my dream, of course. I've auditioned, pero hindi mo matatanggap. So the fact that I made it this far po, it means a lot to me. And actually, I'm very grateful for the opportunity, pero I wanna at least proceed to the next round.
Cha, her story and her willingness to be in the Philippines at all, you know, that was a big part of it.
And what's even more intriguing is she didn't travel once, she traveled twice. Because people forget that or you don't know at home, there was a time difference between when we did the in-person audition rounds and then when we actually did the next rounds. And so she had to go back, and that type of dedication is just something that you don't generally see.
First of all, I feel so proud of myself for getting a golden feather. That means I was able to show the talents and efforts that I was able to give. And at the same time, I also feel sad about my other members because other people didn't get in and I saw how talented they were.
I don't know. There was something about Minea, even though she was so far behind. And that was it. It wasn't that she wasn't good. It was that she was behind. She had she had no training in anything. But there was something about her when she came out. Her story, I remember, really moved me as well. And there was just something about her look and the way that she was there. It was really like watching a K-pop idol. They were learning this dance. It was a tough choreography, and she basically almost got to a point where she like almost gave up on it. And she was like in tears, and the other girls went and talked to her, and because she couldn't keep up the learning with the other girls. And then all of a sudden she came in the next day and she knew the choreography. And when we talked to her, we were like, when did she learn that? And she had stayed up until like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, even though she knew she had to be up again at 5. That was, for me, that was like, when you have that kind of dedication, nothing will stop you from achieving your dreams.
Ako po yata yung pinaka-nanguhuli sa kanila. Hindi ko sila ma-reach yung galing nila. Siguro po, nakitaan po nila ako ng determination po sa gusto ko maamo. Para nakailang beses po ako nag-down, gano'n. Kasi sa tingin ko po, hindi ko deserve talaga na mapasali sa ganitong competition po. And then, unexpectedly, natawag po ako. Hindi ko po in-expect. Pero thank you po.
I think that the farewells were some of the toughest moments. However, I think that they all made it super easy on one another. most of the candidates went into this and like that's how they looked at it. They looked at it as they were cheering each other on and they were trying to help each other through this process.
We always felt familiar with each other, even if we didn't know each other before.
So after we cut everything down to 12 members, our goal was to give them kind of like a day of respite. We really wanted them to have time just to get to know one another. And this was also a chance for the girls that were already members in FINIX that were coming to also get to know these trainees a little bit more.
We just finished our last few challenges for our team building, and the girls are now packing their stuff up so that we can get back to training in a bit. So now we're gonna bother them. Yeah, what else is there to do but bother them? Let's go! Let's go! Okay, lead the way, please, Miss Brenna and Miss Rika. Room raid. We're going to do a room raid. Oh, some of the girls are here. Say hi. Someone's here. How would you rate this experience?
I would rate this experience a sleepy over 10.
Relatable.
Very sleepy over 10.
So, 2 coffees out of 10. 2 coffees out of 10.
My energy is because of the coffee.
Okay. She has
everybody.
Look at her with all the snacks. What is it? Okay. Oh, your setup is so cute.
Magulawag
Say hi. Say hi. Hi, we're up everywhere. With their snacks. So cute. Are you guys bunkmates?
Yes.
How was it?
It was very good. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't move. We stayed and then I was like this.
That's it for the entire night.
Yeah. We wanted to join them, but we're like burger.
Burger, cheeseburger.
Burger kasi na-curve pa sardinas diretso.
Oh. Say hi. Yours is
Sino magka-bump? Kami.
How was it? How was it?
Ganyan lang.
Next bunkmates. Next bunkmates.
Clingy and she...
How about you? Who's your bunkmate?
Me!
How was it?
Feeling ko ang gulo ko matulog.
No,
you're not.
Baka nasipa ko na kanina.
In this room.
What?
The alarms.
At the bathroom. Parang medyo madami. Yung madami.
Sige na, tapos kasi yung nag-alarm, siya yung hindi gigising. How about you? Who's your bunkmate? How was it? How was it?
Oh, she was snoring hard last night.
Oh, I know!
You were hugging me! No, I'm not!
Who has the most stuff? Who brought the most stuff? Really? Eh? Bag raid! Bag raid!
Because I only have one luggage. I bought everything. Yung hindi talaga mawawala is yung skincare talaga.
Can we see? Can we have a sneak peek?
Okay.
Ano yung mga brands? Bawal ba?
I think you should cover it.
Ganyan. Cleanser. Foam cleanser. Anong pa ba?
Sunscreen! Budget!
Complain.
You asked who has the biggest luggage.
Who has the most stuff? Who has the most snacks?
Yes, the most snacks. Yeah, let's check your bathroom. Bathroom tour. Oh, it's actually not messy. Guys, your bathroom is not messy at all. Very impressive.
Mas messy yung atin.
Yeah, actually. 3 girls, mas messy pa yung room bathroom na. Guys, final words. Rate this experience.
Okay. Sa akin, this experience is the most memorable kasi mas naging close kami with the girls. Yeah. Hindi ko naging roommate si Manea na ko siya, katabi ko siya sa bed. So mas naging close kami. But at the same time, mas naging close kami sa lahat kasi we're all the 12 girls are in one this room.
Close before.
Yeah.
Same as her, it's like a core memory. Because we've never been
close
this close before. Because we have before we were like just we have specific groups, and then right now we're like a family. Like it's never like this before. So I love the experience.
How about you? Naging close kami lahat. Naging close. Okay, we got closer and then it's so hard with one bathroom. I was 12. It's so fun. So, sa time ng bathroom. The experience honestly was really it was really team building because number one, the 12 of us actually, we fit in just one room, one CR, and then you will know who will take long in this joke. Anyways, I love how everyone was considerate of one another. Like, like probably 3 girls with toothbrush at the same time. Wash their face. Yung isa sa shower na. And then, you'll see who's messy. Just kidding. But then again, it's nice to because your sleeping space is your personal space, and to be able to share that with them is like another level. And then being able to, play some games just to, take a break from training and all that is very fun and it's very relaxing. And honestly, I really enjoyed. And yes, this will be a core memory. And yeah, I'm loving so much. We really enjoyed our time together. Some of us were waiting on each other kanina. Earlier sa CR, but we were all very considerate of each other. So really built our team because we're 12 people here. I know. Thank you. The end. How was the experience? The experience. Actually, I love that we're all here together. It's so fun. But the problem is that we have to share only one bathroom with 12 girls. So
Yeah.
that was hard actually. Yeah. But everything, like even the game, so we get to really know each other. Even the FINIX girls. It was so fun. I felt like we got closer each other when we shared. See you later.
For the next round, we're going to be turning things up a bit. We'll see what kind of criticisms and critiques they can take to make them the best as possible for the final round.